The story opens with a man named Simon. He has come for a job interview, though he hasn't worked for 10 years and never went to school. Simon is mentally unstable. He hears voices in his head. His inner voice tells him flatly, "They will not hire you." During the interview, Simon suddenly sees an old man sitting in front of him. Startled, he blurts out strange, random words. Because of that, the job opportunity slips away. Scene change. Now we meet Ed Deere. In a campus cafeteria, Ed catches a young man stealing food. He splashes hand sanitizer on him. The campus security guard gets furious, shouting, "You no longer work here! You have no right to do that." He warns Ed never to return. To make matters worse, Ed had parked in the guard's reserved spot. Now, he faces a fine. Simon and Ed live in the same neighborhood. At Simon's apartment, his sister Dee is home. Meanwhile, Ed hides his security badge inside a clock that doubles as a locker. The next day, Simon goes to see a doctor. He lies saying the hallucinations and everything else have stopped. On his way back, he witnesses a man kidnapping a young woman. Frozen, he mutters random words. His inner voice mocks him. "You can't even say anything properly. Go home." Because of the hallucination, Simon cannot make out the kidnapper's face. He watches as the man forces the woman into a van and drives away. The voice taunts him, "You just stood there the same way when I broke your sister's jaw, and you'll stand there again." Simon runs after the van, memorizing the license plate number. He heads straight to Ed's door. Ed recognizes him as the man who once punched 2 cops. Simon says he needs a ride to the police station, claiming he saw a woman being kidnapped. Ed doesn't believe him. Simon leaves and goes alone. At the station, Simon describes the young woman and the event. He still cannot describe the kidnapper's face. He tells Detective Liz the van's number. After Simon leaves, the detective notes he is mentally unstable. His inner voice says they will not look for her. They already know you are crazy. At night, Simon is terrified. He fears the boogeyman in his closet and demons under his bed. Later, he calls Detective Liz. She tells him the plate matches a vehicle found in cold water, 7 meters north. Simon insists it's real, but she asks for proof before acting. Meanwhile, Ed loses money at poker. Simon shows up at his door again. He tells Ed the police are not searching for the girl and that he knows Ed used to be a cop. Hearing this, Ed lets him in. Simon speaks in fits, a string of random sentences. He explains that when he gets excited, his words get mixed up. Doctors call it word salad. He says he gave the police the plate, but they claim it's wrong. Ed suggests maybe Simon misremembered the numbers. A 5 could be an S, a 1 an I. Ed promises to pull 5 or 6 possible plates with names and addresses. Simon agrees, but online lookup payments fail. They realize they must use Plan B. Simon notices Ed's clock locker. They head to the DMV, where ED pretends to be head of campus security. He claims they are verifying plates due to vandalized cars. The officer refuses, saying, "We do not give this information to security guards." Simon panics, pleading, "A girl has been kidnapped. Please help us." Ed calms him and pulls him out before it escalates. Meanwhile, Detective Liz learns Simon has been asking about plates. Simon takes Ed to the neighborhood where the kidnapping occurred. He describes the girl, heavy makeup, short skirts. Ed leads him to an area where working girls hang out. They stage an interrogation, pretending to be cops. A woman says she doesn't know anything. Ed asks her to remove her glasses and repeat. He tells Simon she's telling the truth because she blinked. Suddenly, a group smashes the lights on Ed's car. They drag Ed and Simon out. Ed explains they only want to find a girl in danger. The group's leader snaps, "Don't pretend to be cops here. Go somewhere else." Ed talks about going home, unconvinced the girl exists. He doesn't fully trust Simon. Simon storms off. Ed follows, realizing Simon cannot do this alone. They seek help from the campus guard, who refuses at first. Ed blackmails him, threatening to expose him for abusing subordinates. The guard relents and contacts a friend in traffic division on the condition Ed never returns to camp. Ed agrees reluctant. With traffic division help, they get plate data. 3 similar plates appear nearby, but none are registered to a van. Simon replays the DMV incident in his head, remembering how the officer likely thought he was crazy. Ed remarks, "It's hard to miss when you go all Section D." Simon snaps, "I have a name. I am not Section by T." "I am Simon." They head to the first address on the list. Ed tells Simon to keep talking to a minimum. Simon cannot meet eyes, but Ed asks him to try. "Look into my eyes for 1 second. Then 2. Simon and Ed drive to the junkyard with the receipt. On the way, Ed asks Simon, "What does it feel like to hear something that isn't there?" Simon turns the radio up loud until it distorts and replies, "Exactly like that." At the junkyard, they find the car. Its number plate is missing. That confirms Ed's fear. They have no easy way to track the thief. Simon suddenly hears a scream, but it's only a hallucination. The inner voice sneers. It turns out the voice he's been hearing is his father. Detective Liz arrives at the DMV to review CCTV footage, checking Simon's question. Back at Simon's apartment, Dee speaks to him. She mentions a city service to help people like him find work and urges him to get a job. She fixed his bed and room, but Simon becomes fearful of the demon under his bed. He snaps angrily, "If you cared, why did you leave me with father?" Dee replies softly, "I was only 16. A kid myself." Meanwhile, someone bursts into Ed's house. It's the kidnapper. Simon sees the attack from his window and quietly heads toward Ed's house. Inside, Ed is beaten. The kidnapper taunts them, asking why they're looking for him. Ed says he knows the kidnapper has the girl. Simon throws a ball at the kidnapper, surprising him. In the scramble, Simon wrests the gun away. The kidnapper warns not to kill him, saying his accomplices will kill the girl. As he lunges for the weapon, the gun goes off. The kidnapper collapses. Simon's inner voice murmurs, "Look what we have here." A call comes through on the kidnapper's phone. Simon helps Ed to his feet, dragging him away from the house. The gunshot echoes across the neighborhood. They call the police. Dee is at her salon when Simon stumbles in carrying a bloodied Ed. Dee, a third-year nursing student, immediately begins cleaning and stitching Ed's forehead. Customers notice and are sent away. Detective Liz arrives but cannot identify the dead man. His face is mangled. Dee tells Simon he must explain everything to the police. Groggy and bloody, Ed agrees. He admits he should have acted sooner. Simon refuses, holding up the kidnapper's phone. "Look at this. We cannot let them kill that girl." Outside, police surround the salon. Simon instructs Dee, "Stall them." She tells the officers they cannot enter without a warrant. Ed returns a call. The number on the kidnapper's phone matches a man they tracked at the junkyard, Kurt. Officers insist Dee let them in because of the bloodstain. She allows them, claiming it's hair dye. Amid the chaos, police find Ed's car. Ed and Simon slip away and catch a bus, still chasing their lead. The next morning, Kurt arrives at his office. Ed ambushes him, knocks him out, and ties him to a chair. Kurt refuses to talk about the kidnapped girl. Simon notices a clock that doubles as a locker in Kurt's office. Inside, he finds the kidnapped girl's passport. Simon hallucinates seeing his father in Kurt's place. Enraged, he grabs Kurt's ear with pliers, demanding the girl's location. Ed pulls him back and calms him. Kurt laughs at Simon. Ed sprays hand sanitizer in Simon's eyes, reminding him the label says "wash immediately." Kurt finally breaks and reveals he met the kidnapper online. Together, they ran a human trafficking operation. The phone rings again. Ed asks about the other part. Kurt insists he doesn't know. Kurt explains the kidnapper used passports to taunt victims, promising to return them to control them. One girl once tried to escape. The kidnapper said he had to make an example of her. Simon explodes. That girl is the one he saw being beaten. Kurt finally offers an address where he delivered the stolen license plate, in exchange for being untied. Ed immediately calls the police. Ed and Simon head toward the location, while Detective Liz arrives at Kurt's office. Seeing the passports, she realizes Kurt's involvement. Simon hallucinates again, seeing his father blocking the entrance, mocking him as a broken child. Ed clicks his pen repeatedly, grounding Simon. Slowly, Simon calms down. Ed hands him the pen. "From now on, this belongs to you." They knock and shout. Police have surrounded the location. There's nowhere to run, but no one answers. Ed and Simon enter, searching each room. The house is empty. On a desk, they find documents for 4 different girls. Suddenly, a noise comes from upstairs. They rush to check, but again, no one is there. Simon fears they are too late. Exhausted, they sit down. An old woman comes down the stairs holding an axe. Ed points his empty gun at her. She panics and runs away. They have no idea who she is. Returning upstairs, they discover a secret chamber behind a room. Using a plastic pen, Simon picks the lock. Inside, they finally find the kidnapped girl alive. They bring her outside to the police, who are waiting. But Ed and Simon are the true heroes. Detective Liz looks at Simon. "Good job," she says. Simon smiles, genuinely happy. And with that, friends, our story ends. Tell us in the comments how you liked this explanation. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.